This is Kimberly Reuter, business advisor and supply chain expert, and welcome to my podcast, The Morning Mood. Today, we have a extra special guest. I know I say every guest is special, but this one is extra special. We have Alicia Rodriguez, who is my personal coach. We have been working together for over or close to 25 years. And Alicia has been there for me in a lot of really bad situations. She helped me get my job at Amazon. She coached me on how to interview at Amazon. And so she has been one of the most influential people in my career and my life. So, Alicia, welcome.
Hey, this is going to be fun, Kim. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited. So, tell us about you, Alicia. So, you're a coach, you're living on the exotic coast of Portugal. Like, how did you get here? Who is Alicia?
So, yes, I live in this beautiful spot that you see behind me. And that's my daily walk. I live in the Algarve of Portugal, which is the southern coast of Portugal, and it was quite a journey to get here. So, backing up, I was trained as a leadership coach at Georgetown University's program, and I sometimes say life and leadership coaching. It's all the same. I consider myself more of a guide than a coach
Mhm,
because I work very holistically. As you know, I'm looking at the whole person, not just like one aspect of them. And
mhm,
primarily my focus now it's twofold. In terms of working with clients, I work with executive women, visionary leaders, and social and creative entrepreneurs
mhm.
focused on advancing their ability to think in more complex, systemic, strategic, and interdependent ways to amplify their influence and lead change.
Yes.
And to that end, I don't just work with them like on Zoom. I bring them to Portugal where they spend a week doing a deep
Mhm.
dive with me that I curate and completely customize to that person. And the topics that people come here with are either personal topics on life transitions,
Mhm.
next steps in their life. In business, it's pivoting a business. It's what kind of business. It's legacy. I was the CEO. I'm retiring. Now what?
Mhm.
They come with really significant big questions, and
Yeah.
I design a week for them. And primarily, the first couple of days are restorative because people are exhausted
Yeah.
when they come here.
So
Uh,
I did a retreat with you. I went to Portugal for a week, and my issue when I came to you was, like, I was feeling lost. I remember feeling completely unmoored. Like the anchor had come up. I was just adrift in the ocean. I mean, there wasn't anything particularly wrong. Like, I had
right.
money in the bank, I had a roof over my head. I mean, but I just didn't feel like I had any direction. I was just kind of floating around, and we went to a week with you in the Algarve, and you were right. The whole thing was structured around rest. Was you need to rest, and then we will start digging.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't do any work if you're exhausted. You just
Yes.
can't.
Yep.
Um, and there's a piece where I think, especially for leaders, they get so involved in the work that they get and it's kind of like a paradox. They get involved in the work, but they get disconnected from why.
Yep.
Why are they doing that work? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So this is a place where you come and you reconnect and you restore and you re-energize. And I think a piece of what you said, I call that drifting, what you were talking about. And
Mhm.
the solution to that is clarity. It's
Yeah.
like, do I have the space to do the internal conversation and the work facilitated by someone who is objective and can ask good questions and then walk out of here with some clarity around what grounds me, what makes me feel like I'm fulfilling a mission or a purpose. So
Yeah.
I one of the things I wanted to share was I lived in Ecuador for 6
Yep.
years. I wrote a book called The Shaman's Wife because yes, I did live with an Ecuadorian shaman.
You
Um,
did.
I
Napo.
did, and you met him.
I did. I
'Cause
did. Napo taught me a couple. I know, Napo was human.
right.
But I learned some really great lessons from Napo. I mean, he was a truly gifted person, I believe.
Yes, he was. I would agree with that.
Mhm.
Um, and so, I haven't lived in the United States for many, many years, and I
Mhm.
think and now I've now lived in Portugal almost 5 years, believe it or not. I can't believe it when I
Wow.
say that. I know,
Yeah.
really. Um, and so you get a completely different perspective on, on life in the United States, and it I think anyone who lives in other countries outside the United States, it really challenges your ideas and your beliefs and your assumptions about the way life should be.
Yeah. I
And
would agree.
all those things that you thought you should do or should have and all of that gets challenged, and you realize when you're living outside of that bubble, it doesn't have to be that way. It could be different and it could be really great,
Yeah.
you know?
It can. So let's talk about what is your greatest lesson? Because I think you've touched on it a little bit here. So what's the greatest lesson you've learned so far? And how did you learn it?
Yeah, so I think the greatest lesson I learned, not only just by doing, executive coaching with leaders, but also in life, and my life is an example of that, is I think in the United States in particular, there's a bias for more and
Yeah.
bigger,
Yes.
right? More
Yes.
is better.
Yeah.
Bigger is better.
Yeah.
And I have found just by living with less, I have maybe less material things, but I have a much higher quality of life.
Yes.
And it's not just so that's the living piece. It's like you this is where you challenge your assumptions of what you should do or what you should have. And
What does
it,
success look like, right? We're kind
freedom.
of
It looks
brainwashed.
like freedom.
Yeah. But for a lot of us, we're trained success doesn't look like freedom. Success looks like mortgage payments, car payments, like credit card payments, payments on the cruises. Like for a lot of people, that's success, like being able to
Yes.
cover payments. For
Right.
me and for you, success for us was freedom, like to get away from all that.
Well, the interesting thing is, like, when you think about that, you ask yourself, I have to have enough income for all these payments.
Right.
But then you realize that the expense isn't just money. The
Yeah.
expense is time, and
Yeah.
time to spend with your family or time to do other things that you wanna do. And these are all choices. I'm not saying that there's a right choice or a wrong choice.
Nope.
I think I think at a certain point, like, let's take business.
Mhm.
I have clients who come and talk to me about growing their business, all good. But are they actually growing it, like, horizontally or vertically? Are they you know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Are they taking on all this stuff that doesn't really make sense? And so I'm always telling them, less is more. Hone your offer. Hone what you
Yes.
do. It doesn't have to be bigger. It can be smaller, but do it really, really well.
Well, yeah. And I see that in the consulting thing, and you advised me that when I started my consulting gig too. I remember you really pushed me on that. You're like, "No, specifically, what are you consulting on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I can do anything. Like, I can
Right. I
do
can do
this and
anything.
I can do that, and I over here, and I touched that once, so I feel comfortable there." And you're like, "No, you need to hone in on what is your thing." And you
Yes,
were right, because when I was trying to be everybody to everything to everybody, I was nobody to everybody. When I
exactly.
started focusing on a no and started turning business away and saying, "No, thank you very much. I appreciate the conversation. That's real. I don't think I'm the right person to help you." Then I started getting clarity and getting the right clients. But you're right. My experience with you has been exactly that. I needed clarity.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? Do you want a lot of clients or do you want the right clients,
Right.
right? And
Yep.
the thing is that your business has to make you happy too. It can't just be
Mhm.
an income thing. It should make you feel like you wanna go to work that day,
Yep. Yeah.
and like you said, you're multi-talented, so but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
Oh, then you're doing everything, and like you said, you're like everything to everybody and nothing to any
Nobody to everybody. Yeah.
hell no.
Nothing. Yeah. And I think that's what happens. The other thing I want to touch on a little bit too is your coaching experience and your coaching expertise. Because another thing I feel like I give advice on my podcast. This is just my personal experiences I share with people. Um, but a lot of people are looking for coaches, are looking for help, are looking for a sounding board. What do you think people need to look for in a coach? Because I have bumped into coaches out there, or bumped into friends who are like, "Oh, I'm working with this coach. He's 27." I'm like, "Babe, you're fucking 55. What is a 27-year-old going to tell you about?" Well, she just got done with her online coaching course. I'm like, "Adorable." I'm sure her 22-year-old friends think she's super wise. But so what do people need? And they get into the situation where they get bad advice almost, right? Or it's not helpful. They're not moving forward. What do you feel like people need to look for when they're looking for a coach?
You know how in medicine they have the saying, "Do no harm."
Yes.
I
Well,
kind of feel like that's what we should have in coaching. And,
mhm,
everybody's a coach nowadays. I don't even
I
use it.
know.
You know that I don't like
And so
that
you
word.
stopped using I'm sorry I even called you one because you actually stopped using that word. I remember
A
that. Yep.
long time ago, I
Yeah,
did, because it's just doesn't it's a misnomer for me.
it is.
I
Yeah.
mean, I see myself more as a guide or an
I would
advisor.
say you're definitely more of a guide. Yeah.
Yeah. And my work is much more is deeper than just really transactional. It's transformative in the sense that, the questions I ask go much deeper than what's obvious. And
Yes.
that's and you have had that experience.
Well, I mean, that's the point, right? Like if I can Google it, then why am I paying for it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind
exactly.
of was always been my attitude. But as you know, I've always been a go for the jugular kind of person. But yeah, so your style, I would say that your style is also unique too, and that it's a no bullshit style. You're not here to sugarcoat it.
No, I'm not, and I don't get paid to do that. I don't get paid
Mm-mm.
to make you feel good all the time.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I actually warn clients that I'm very direct.
Mhm.
And you just need to be okay with that.
Mhm.
I'm kind, but I'm direct, and I also ask really difficult questions that
You do.
um,
You
make
do.
people uncomfortable.
You do.
But that's the point, right?
That's the
It
point.
that is the point. So going back to your question about,
Yep.
like, when you look for a coach, I think part of it is training, like you said. I'm sorry, but a 27-year-old cannot be coaching a 55-year-old because they just don't have the maturity and the life experience. It's just a matter of adult development. It's
Yeah.
that simple. It's
It's just
not
that simple.
it's just that simple, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the other so, like, looking for that person's experience and expertise, and in a well-rounded way, and how it relates to the issue at hand for you, because
Mhm.
I've had several coaches, but I had different coaches for different reasons.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I might use this coach over here because, they're really good at, business development, or I might
Mhm.
use this coach over here because my confidence is taking a hit, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
So really matching your need to whatever that coach does particularly well,
Mhm.
um, is really important. I think authenticity is huge. If like, one of the things that I see, my clients, when they come to me, they say, "Yeah, the last coach said if I didn't sign on with them, like, right there and then, that
Right.
I would pay an extra fee." I'm like,
Oh,
"What?" You know? Like, yeah,
that's
and I'm like,
terrible.
it's terrible. So, like, I usually, when I do a call, I'll just say, "Why don't you think about this and get back to me by next Tuesday?" I always say, like, I need a date because I
Yeah,
don't
you
wanna,
need a date.
but I want them to think it through because I want them to be invested in it.
Yeah. Yes.
This isn't just like, give me your money so that I can work with you. This is
Yeah.
like, I have fired clients who, for some reason, weren't invested.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're just showing up and not doing anything, yeah,
yeah,
there's no
then it's, don't waste my time. It's like,
exactly.
but it's true. It's like, I'm bored.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I do the same thing, like, in my consulting world too. Like, I'm like, "If you don't wanna listen to what I have to say, then fine. Then I
Yeah,
don't need to be here. I'm not here for a paycheck. I'm here to
yeah,
help you build your supply chain and make
yeah,
it better. Like, I'm not trying to pay a big mortgage. So,
right,
I can move
right.
on and you can go back to doing what you're doing. We're
Yeah,
great."
and I think that goes back to, more is not better,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
as a consultant, or as an entrepreneur, and what a joy it is to find the right client, or what a joy it is to find the right customer who's going to
Yeah.
be your evangelist, who's going to be your biggest fan, who's going to tell other people about you. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you aim for when you do like less is more and really hone what it is you do and who you do it with. I
Hmm.
always tell people I'm not a good coach for everybody, nor do I want to be.
Right.
Um, so there's a certain kind of client that I look for that is willing and able to have uh conversations that go beyond the transactional,
Yeah. Yeah.
conversations that are like not just leadership skills, but like who are you as a leader? What what drives you? What do you care about? And then take that and implement it into your leadership strategy.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not just like, let me teach you how to communicate 101, you know?
How to give feedback. That's my favorite. Yeah. Let me coach you on how to give feedback. And
Right.
I would agree. There's definitely a deeper level in the work that you do. And I think that does make it more transformational. I also think it makes it more sticky because
Yeah.
it's less of, you're right, it's less coaching, which would be like take this step, take this step, take this step, and more about let's figure out what's really driving this all the way down at the core and then work
Right.
the way back up.
Yeah.
Which is a different message.
Yeah.
All right. So greatest lesson. And so great that you've shared with us. How have you applied it to your life? I mean, obviously you've moved, you've done some downgrade or downsizing. So how have you applied this greatest lesson to your life?
You know, when I was in the United States and I was doing corporate work, so I would go into corporations and I worked with some very known CEOs, if you will. And
Hmm.
like I remember saying to someone, I can't go into the president of Martha Stewart's office in Target
Right.
clothes. You know?
No.
And
There is
so
an element to that. Like,
but
even though
there
my podcast is like crazy, like this is a mess. But yeah, when I have to go out in public, there is an element that I have to look right.
there is. But that doesn't mean I have to have 20 pairs of shoes. It means I have to have maybe two really nice ones, you know? But like but like, the downsizing piece, I've moved so many times and every single time I move, I go, why do I have this?
Mhm. Yeah.
Why I was like, I've had this for 20 years. What good is why do I
Why
still
do I
have
still have this? Yeah.
you know? And so what happens is when you live a lifestyle like I do now, in particular in Portugal, obviously in Europe, the houses are smaller and the
Oh,
apartments are smaller. So I have a saying, if something comes in, something has to go out.
yep.
And but what I have is meaningful to me. It
Yes.
means something to me versus having a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And the less stuff I have, the more freedom I have to go out, to take walks on the cliffs, to
Yes.
take a break in the middle of the day for 2 hours and go to the beach. I mean,
Yeah.
that is my lifestyle, and I still work. I
Yep.
still and for me, the work isn't just, working with clients, but it's also writing books. So,
Mhm.
um, I now have 4 books. So it's both and. And one of the things I find is that being in the world actually feeds my work.
Yeah.
So sitting at a computer for 8 hours a day,
No.
day after
Yeah.
day, isn't really giving me the ability to be creative in my work,
Yeah.
be it the programs I come up with or the way I work with clients or what I write. So
Yeah.
again, less is more, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great lesson. I wish more people would embrace it. I think we all have to kinda go, I don't know, I feel like we have to go through our more phase almost.
Yeah, you do.
Um,
I
and
agree.
and then some of us come out on the other side and we're like, "Yeah, that was fun." The 250 pairs of shoes was great. We're not down to 2 yet, I will tell you that, but we're
I know
getting
you
there.
love shoes.
I
I know
love shoes.
you do.
And it's so sad, like, I just wear them around the house now, I never even leave, so it's like, yeah. When I go on a trip, I'm like, "The shoes are coming."
I know.
We have to debut them, but
I
yeah,
just I
so
just remember one pair of boots that you had that were like, "Oh my god, those are fantastic."
I can't remember which pair those were.
And so they were so cool.
I don't know, were they the ones that were all beaded up? I think I still have them.
Oh, they were just gorgeous. They were like
Yeah,
a
we've
work
had a
of
few
art on
pair.
your feet.
It's just I've had a few pair of those. I love shoes. Oh, I love shoes so much. We're in a cowboy phase now, just so you know.
Okay.
We moved on.
Are you
We
putting
adjusted.
rhinestones on them now?
Yeah, oh yeah. Exotic skins, all of it. It's
Um,
fantastic. Alicia, it was amazing having you. You have been such a wonderful influence on my life, and I would not be here without you. And I appreciate everything that you've done, and thank you for being here and sharing your greatest lesson.
yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was nice to talk to you, Kim. Thanks.
All
All
right,
right,
bye,
bye-bye.
guys.